a big setback for India's chip manufacturing plans is that Foxconn has backtracked from its joint venture with Vedanta to make semiconductors in India. Now remember, Foxconn, the world's largest contract electronic maker, and Vedanta had signed a $19.5 billion pact last year to set up semiconductor and display production plants in Gujarat. Meanwhile, Vedanta has expressed confidence and reiterated it's committed to its semiconductors fab plans. Let's go across to my colleague Sumita, who has more details on the story. Over to you, Sumita.
Right, so Taiwan's Foxconn is pulling out of the JV with Vedanta. That deal was set up to produce semiconductors from India. In fact, if you remember, just last week, Vedanta Group had taken full ownership of the joint venture with Foxconn, set up last year to manufacture semiconductors. Now, will it mean a derailment of Vedanta's chip manufacturing plans? Well, Vedanta tells ET now, and I quote, Vedanta reiterates that it is fully committed to its semiconductor fab project, and we have lined up other partners to set up India's first foundry. We will continue to grow our semiconductor team, and we have the license for production grade technology for 40 nm from a prominent integrated device manufacturer. What Vedanta also hints at is that the company will shortly acquire a license for production grade 20 nm as well. It also says, and I quote, Vedanta has redoubled its efforts to fulfill the Prime Minister's vision for semiconductors, and India remains pivotal in repositioning global semiconductor supply chains. Remember, Foxconn and Vedanta signed a pact last year to invest $19.5 billion to set up semiconductor and display production plants in Gujarat, seeking to tap into the country's plans to become an electronics major, to make mobiles, tablets, EVs, and so much more, which was much in line with government's ambitions of making India a semiconductor hub. But the initial application submitted by Vedanta for the semiconductor unit was also not approved by the government, and hence the company even filed a revised proposal. If you remember, we reported some time back, Foxconn had shared a statement wherein it said Foxconn is working to remove the Foxconn name from what now is a fully owned entity of Vedanta. Foxconn has no connection to the entity, and efforts to keep its original name will cause confusion for future stakeholders. In fact, Foxconn, which is the world's largest contract electronics maker, says that it is confident about the direction of India's semiconductor development and will continue to support government's Make in India ambitions. In fact, the JV Vedanta Foxconn Semiconductors Private Limited was a wholly owned subsidiary of Vedanta Group entity Twin Star Technologies. The new structure, minus Foxconn, will make Vedanta India's first company in integrated semiconductor and display fab business.
Right, thanks for that, Sumita. But we'll stick to this story. You know, we also had Ajay Dua, who's the former Secretary, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and Jayant Dasgupta, former Ambassador and Representative of India at the WTO, both on our channel last evening to talk exactly about this, try and understand the impact.
Industry, the government was giving as much as 50% of the investment by way of an capital grant. In addition, the government of Gujarat had committed to give 20% of the cost also as a guarantee. So that was going to make it 70% in all. So it was a lot of money being committed, which the government had to be careful. Public money. And when they found that the joint venture is not making any progress whatsoever, it rightly said, I think we need more time.
Problem, that, as I understand, is that they want more than 50% subsidies, and they are going to negotiate on that. As in Gujarat, for the Micron technology plant of $2.75 billion, Micron is investing only $825 million.